Welcome back, everybody, to Inside the Cardinal Playbook. We're joined in this segment by head golf coach Bob Cole, who joins us here. And Bob, I know the golf coaching situation has changed a little bit in the last few months. Could you kind of update us on who's doing what and who's responsible for what?
Absolutely. Well, you know, when I came to Joel, I'm the head women's golf coach, and here recently I'm working with the assistant athletic director, Joel Lucan, to taking over the functions of the men's team. So I'm going to be assisting on the training side, setting schedules and working with the players individually and going forward with both the men and the women's teams.
Are you kind of each acting as each other as assistant coach in some way? Is that kind of the way to look at it?
Primarily on the men's side. On the women's side, that's still my baby, and I'm kind of, that's near and dear to my heart. So, but Joel and I are both working on the men's side again with the training and all aspects that comes with the men's side.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the men here in a moment, but first let's focus on the women. The weather has been the topic of discussion. How has it affected the golf program?
Actually, the impact has been quite significant.
I can't imagine.
Well, not having the ability to go outside and to really work on the game and the real outside fundamentals of hitting different types of shots from different types of lies and just having, being out on the golf course, we're basically subjected to working inside, putting, swinging the golf, club, hitting golf balls inside, and that's good for getting your swing back in where you want it, but it doesn't give you a real idea of where the ball's going, and so that's basically the impact it's had for both teams, and to the point that last year we had an event in early March. This year it was canceled. Last year the temperatures were in the mid-60s, and then we were unfortunate to get hit with the 20-plus inches of snow. So that it canceled everything. So we're still in that state of waiting for our next event, which is the 8th and 9th of April.
You said something there that caught my ear a little bit. Excuse me. As a former baseball coach and talking to Mike and Dustin, when you're inside the cage as a hitter in those sports, you want to hit the ball hard. But in golf, you really do need to know where the ball's going, right?
You do, and like I said, we can work on different things. Impact, technique, which is all very important. But when it's all said and done, you have to translate that ball striking to the golf course, and it's about getting lower scores. And probably where you really lose it is the touch around the greens and hitting the pitch shots, the sand shots, and just working on and actually some creativity that really comes as part of the golf game.
I know this fall you were so excited about, especially your younger ladies that were golfing this year. Let's talk about them a little bit and with the progress they've made maybe over the course of the winter and into the spring season.
The progress continues to be very good. My expectations for the whole freshman class is extremely high. When and partly because they work hard, they worked hard in the off season. When it was the summer, in the fall, they themselves have set their expectations quite high, and with that comes some objective data that I had come across again from GolfStat, which is our objective data pool that basically says that when you take a freshman class and its impact on a golf team in Division II, this freshman class is in the top 18 of the country, how it impacts a golf team. So they're aware of those expectations. They continue to work very hard. They're very diligent in their work, and they also like to be out on the golf course, and they like to work on their game. So my expectations for all of them continue to be high, and that's not going to change.
Would you please tell us about some of those young ladies and maybe a little bit about each one of them?
Yeah, one of them, Alex Steinkamp. She's from the Savannah, Missouri, St. Joe area. Very good player. Hits the ball very solidly. One of the things that Alex and I are working on is continuing to work on some of the short game, but a very good player. Then I have Alexis Buford. She's from Overland Park, Kansas. Very good player. Hits the ball a mile if she hits it. Again, she and I are working on some different technique things, but it's made some good impact on the team. Courtney Wells from the Derby, Wichita area, probably the most consistent freshman that I had. Didn't have the lowest score, Alex Steinkamp did, but Courtney brings with lots of good on-course poise. And so that's one of the things that we're continuing to work. Her mental game is very good. And then Madison Smith from Independence, Missouri, very good player. We're working on some different swing adjustments. She's working on some things that we need to change with her swing, which can have some impact on some consistency issues. But for Madison, she works hard. She's always asking the right questions and doing things so that consistency issue is becoming less and less of an issue for her.
When you recruit somebody for golf, what do you look for? What's the thing you can see in a young golfer?
You know, I can, when I start looking at whether it's a, young lady, young man in terms of golf, I like to see how they practice. I like to see what clubs they're pulling out of their bag. I like to see their mindset, how long it takes them to hit the golf ball. I like to see if they can, can hit some quality shots. I like to see the flight of the ball. Is it something that we can, can work with it? Is it conducive to good scoring? And then some swing things. If I need to look at rebuilding swings, I can do that. I don't like to have to do if I don't need to, but I usually in that first couple visits, it's more about the quality of their striking, and then then I start talking to them about their conduct in class, their grades, their academic behavior, and how their mindset and their approaches to the academic side of things.
Bob, before we move on to the men's team a little bit, tell us again, when do you expect to play next?
We play in a Division I event with hosted by UMKC. It's here local at Shoal Creek, and that's April 8th and 9th.
Good. Let's talk now a little bit about the men. As you said, you're assisting Joel Lukin with the men's team, and so you have some knowledge of them. And tell us a little bit about the men's team at William Jewell.
The men's team it's a great group of young men. I think there's lots of talent there. We're working on lots of different structural things, in terms of practice and working on different quality shots. One of the things that a lot of the men players like to do, they like to hit lots of quality shots on the range. I want them to change their mindset to translating that over to the golf course. There's lots of talent. All the players have the ability to hit the ball an exceptionally long distance, and so just changing some of that mindset that it's not always about distance. We need to get the ball in the hole.
Right. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the individuals that are out for golf?
Yes, consistent wise, the two of the players, Connor O'Neill and Grant McNeely, were the two top players through the fall season. They have Derek Peterson and then Chris Perry, Matt Monroe. And so we have some of those players that are back with us that are good young players. Grant Jansen from St. Louis, and then we have a couple young men from here, local Hugo Mendoza, local Ralph from Liberty, and so they all complement each other well. They get along well. They like to practice. They practice very hard.
Right.
Again, it's just changing some of the culture that we're going to practice a little bit differently.
Right.
And my expectations are high for them as well.
For people that aren't familiar with the Jewell Golf program, what would you want them to know about the program, whether it's the men's program or the women's program?
That it's not a second-class sport. The school takes the golf program very seriously. There's lots of support, and that's one of the things that I tell each individual coming here is that there's opportunity. Both golf teams are growing. There's a certain amount of travel that's required. We go to a lot of nice golf courses. Again, the program's growing. There's support, and the school is very much in support of what we're doing and what our initiatives are. And I've felt that support every inch of the way.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you.
That's Bob Cole, the head women's coach, and this year assistant men's coach here in golf at William Jewell College. And we're back with a final word on Inside the Cardinal Playbook after this.